Oh God, it is a horrible day. I took Valium last night to assist with sleep. Ugh. I didn't take too much of it. I took the recommended dosage. And of course, it's like, ugh. Never have a hangover with cannabis. Then again, the cannabis doesn't help me sleep as well as it does most people. Most people claim they use cannabis and then pass out. I've never really been that way, except when the sick pieces of shit in law enforcement, oh, it's only cannabis. Let me guess, there was heroin in the bottom of that. Assholes. That's sick, especially when they're kids. You know, when they hazed me when I was under 12 and couldn't consent, that's different. Like I said, between 12 and 16, the things they did, some of that liability can fall on me. Before I was 12, being raped between 20 and 30 times, drugged, hazed, raped, all that's on them. I've been trying to file a report for it about all this stuff for 5 years. 5 years. They come in and say, well, your behavior's this, your behavior's that, stand up, we need to take you in. I'm not going anywhere where you can withhold medical treatment for hours and hours and hours just for the fun of it. Watch me bleed out and not give a shit about it. All because of a bunch of fucking rapey perverts and faculty, teachers. Elizabeth Butler and her bombshell pussy whore message via Gary Booer's drug peddling IT system, with his wife's forced sing-along teaching us about the brass ring and killing ourselves for them. ISIS Christianity, anyone? And as I asked, if you still question Kim and Mike Razor soliciting sex, just look at the people who have died after her court. Now, shall I talk more about Eric and Michelle Crawford? Forget what Julie's husband's name is. I know his father, Ivan. And the date rape situation in Maysville, with Michelle Crawford making dumbass statements that laced cannabis products don't exist in Mason County. You know, you and Julie are best friends, and Jacob is a roller, right? I know you know. I've talked to you about it, remember? Oh well, so kudos to Governor Beshear for picking them for the committee. Date rape, holy rollin', rapey people. So, continuing on, I can get quite loud when I'm grieving about this situation. I mean, I had to work my fucking ass off only for people like Eric and Michelle Crawford to get pardoned for their crimes and then continue with even worse ones or be associated with them. And I smell semen again for some reason. Then again, I did feel something shoved down my throat earlier and I choked on it. So who knows? Like I said, beepers up here. Well, my manager at Kroger, Fifth Third, needs me sometimes. On a Sunday, during a massage, somehow I doubt that. Somehow I seriously doubt that. Oh, there's a lot of the past, with plenty of information and proof. But Kim Razor wanted to limit my word through mental health. Why? Because of her rapey fucking family's involvement. So shall I talk about Bob Tribby, MCDC, students passing out in Christy Calvert Campbell's UPS classroom, with Paul and Laura Jackson hazing kids with drugs and alcohol? and Paul Jackson being one of the big wigs with UPS. Shall I talk more about that? There was cannabis, heroin, alcohol, shrooms, I think, on their farm that night with 40 or 50 of us kids. And now Betsy has a badge? Well, isn't that convenient? When Betsy was the one facilitating half of it. Oh well. So let me tell you about Gerald Curtis and their goddamn drug dealings. And the Baxters beating the shit out of the fucking inmates who tried to report it. And Tracy, it's just so fitting her going into pulmonology, isn't it? If I understood the medical documentation correctly there, she has Crohn's disease and uses cannabis. But I could be wrong. Be whites, Tracy. Who can become a little vicious sometimes. Oh, but what the hell would I know? I'll tell you some more of the goddamn EMS and law enforcement who use cannabis in that goddamn area. Aflac's response was, let me guess, Russell was the driver. Let me guess, the OxyContin and the heroin aren't good enough anymore for you folks. Oh well. Shall I talk about how many times I witnessed J-Flack with it? And Colin. I've had it up to here with the medical gaslighting alone, let alone all this bullshit. If Aflac's fleshlight is pink, I'm starting to remember things. You doing that in public? Drug addicts do that. I'm an advocate. I advocate for a hell of a lot more than you people do. Eye diversion. There's no one in the room. She's still asleep, thank God. When I said I'd stop everything, it wasn't some kind of terroristic threat. It was, I know everything going on, pretty much. Maybe not in 100% detail. But with the details I have, watch it stop. And guess what? It started happening, didn't it? So, Bill Positek? Oh well. Let's talk about his wife and her doctoring style. Psych meds for chronic pain. My exact statement to her, unless they have it recorded and can refute it, my exact statement to her was, my severe chronic pain is causing mood and behavioral changes. Well, here's psych meds. It's not our fault you wouldn't refill the Lyrica, wouldn't fill and refill the Lyrica. Lyrica is a party drug, up and coming. You all don't want to admit it. So here's some more news from Patty's own fucking office. I've had it up to here with their sick shit. Shall I post them on the videos? I don't think I will. It's inappropriate. Starting with Katie Wise and her man. Ending up with Patty Positek should treat chronic pain patients as the Department of Justice stated they should, instead of focusing on trying to convince them they're mentally ill when it looks like she hadn't washed her hair in a week. And like I said, let me tell you more about Patrick and Christy Boggs' ties to that fucking disgusting child porn. With Mr. Wins, Mr. Wood, Mr. Mason. Where did Christy go after being a bitch and Kroger not at Kroger anymore? Mason Family Drug. So don't tell me they're just coincidences. I'm the one who had to live through it.